name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
What is up, gang? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, that's right. You're watching Omni X-Men, where we break down some omnibus like the one that we are here. This last season, it's been New Mutants, and we are talking about New Mutants issue 28. Trying to keep it straight here because my co-host making me crack up with all his dance moves while the music's going on. Yeah, good times. If you guys have missed the last episode where we broke down technically 26 and 27, you might want to go over to John's channel because that's where we broke it down. This is technically ending a 3-part series. So if you're just jumping into this, you might be a little confused with certain aspects, but we'll try to break everything down for you. But of course, it's not just me. It is my good friend and co-host, John from John's Comics with Kids. John.
Get that groove going, man. I was feeling it.
You were in the
zone. Is this
there.
a yoga class? What's going on? I feel like this is some new age love going on.
You know,
here.
I just pay all this money for StreamYard and they give me this music. You know, like, geez, you're gonna keep hearing lines.
It's a lot of crime. It's a lot of crime happening here. Hey,
like
happy Tuesday.
Yeah, happy Tuesday indeed. How you doing? How you been?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited. I even got the floppy issue out for tonight.
Nice direct edition. Very nice.
Shiny.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a copy. I couldn't find mine. It's around here somewhere, but it's a mess right now. But as it usually is.
The end of the season's coming. You know, you got things are everywhere now.
Dude, I got like giveaway ideas and everything else. And which, speaking of which, if you guys are not familiar with the show, we are going to be doing some questions at the end of the episode. So make sure you stick around for after we break down 28 because you have a chance to win some really cool giveaways, which is coming up. John, I can't believe I know we're talking about backstage about it, but it's going to be, I mean, April's gone practically. And I know middle of June is when we're kind of scheduled to have our giveaway show, which we do give a lot of stuff away.
It's going to be wild. I'm giving away the omnibus for next season. So if anybody wants to read along with us, you're going to have the playbook basically for the season in your hands if you win that omnibus. So there you go. Plus, nice. We're giving away, New Mutants #1 graphic novel. You know, the first appearance of several characters. We're giving away, hey, the biggest prize, of course, always the chance to choose first to which episode you want to be on.
For next season. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big prize. And of course, our featured artist for this season is my man Rosko from Geek Out with Rosko, and he has done a 2-sided blank sketch cover for New Mutants season. So, gang, you could win some pieces of OA, which, having purchased his OA before, right? That's his right there. It ain't cheap. So you're getting a steal of a deal here.
It really is. It really is. And a back and front, especially, very nice. And Rosko's such a nice guy. If you guys have not connected with Rosko ever before, make sure you do so. I put his information in the description below. Just such a great guy. It was just his birthday a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's just living life. So we appreciate you, Rosko. Can't wait to see how the artwork comes out. And like I said, you have a chance to win that if you can answer some questions correct later tonight as we ask these questions. All based on last episode, which was technically 2 weeks ago. I realized we've been having chopped up weeks here just for schedules and all that stuff. But so before we go any further, we have a special guest tonight. Bit of a curveball, John, bit of a curveball. Yes. Yeah, we both got some shirts that either represent him or are gifts of him. We're talking about our good friend, Tony Old Wolf. What is up, Tony? Tony, you look different.
Your Bill Sienkiewicz eyebrows are on point.
You like that, huh? How you doing?
I can't tell.
He's Charles Xavier all of a sudden here.
I can't let him be the only one with untrimmed eyebrows.
Those are impressive.
You're
gonna lose all the hair right now, aren't you?
Oh God!
Don't. I feel like you're just gonna.
It's kind of hard to put them even. But I was looking at the comic.
Oh,
I missed that one.
It looks very natural.
And they're more like this, actually.
Like off angled to the side.
Yeah, like that.
Yes, actually, that looks very accurate. Yeah. There's a lot of emotion there. A lot of emotion. Yeah.
Great cosplay already set.
Yeah. If you guys don't know Tony, Old Wolf 65, make sure you do so. I put his information in the description below. Tony, thanks for joining us, man. Happy to have you back on the show.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys must have been like the bomb in the bucket on this one, huh? So
yeah, we were scraping together some
Here's what I love about bringing Tony on the show. He stresses over this. Like he gets worked up about like I got to remember all this stuff. He's the guy that takes notes so that he
can take notes,
answer the questions correctly. Like he's the good student sitting at the front of the class trying to really put his best into it. And he gets all worked up about it. I think it's hilarious.
Usually, I was always in the front of the class because it was a punishment, not because I was a good student.
Right.
Class jokester.
I'm spinning it for you.
He's trying to set you up here, Tom. Well, again, if anybody is not following John, make sure you do so as well, because we will be back on his channel in 2 weeks, right, John? We are kind of doing another jump, so not next week, but the week after. So appreciate everybody who's been tagging along with us and hanging out, and the community's been awesome. So yes, Tony.
If you need somebody for 29, let me know. I bought that book too, and I read it. I was complete.
We'll see if the bearded comic bro bails on us. He's got to do 2 issues now, 29 and 30, and he doesn't read X books, and we're making him read 2 this season.
We'll both be on.
What kind of a moron do you take me for? I'm not
you've
already derailed us in 7 minutes here.
Be a 5-hour stream here. Yeah. Tony's like, yes, it's working. Let's say a quick hello to the chat. John hanging out super early. Johnny boy. We got Jackson Roy Kirk, the Jackson Roy Kirk. What's going on, my friend? We got Impressed Comics, my man Matt. Matt, what's going on, brother?
I was gonna say, I'm glad people know that's Matt and Clemson's new channel title, and you guys got to check out his stuff.
Definitely check out his stuff if you're if you're interested in getting anything pressed and cleaned. He just kicked off his new business, and I actually have a couple books with him right now. I can't wait to see how they come out. So
is he in the description below?
Yeah, very nice guy. He actually is not, but I will add him. So good call, Tony. And that's the new handle there, Impressed Comics. He's over on Instagram as well if you want to reach out to Matt. But we appreciate you, brother. Let's see, Tony pulling double duty here in the chat as well, as usual. We got our good friend Ryan Magic Lasso saying hello to all the good friends, including Diana Ross, Rachel Dinners, and my nude Mutants friends. That's right.
Ooh, that's a good book.
Let's see. You missed it. Tony was just nude before we went live. John Big Daddy Ross in the chat. What is going on, Big Daddy? Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Scrolling through. See everybody saying hi. We got Adam Make Stuff Up. What is going on, Adam? Always good to see you. We got Brian LCS. What is going on, Brian? Hope all is well. Let's see. Oh my goodness, we got Mr. Christopher Lopez. Wow.
Chris, I've got some stuff I got to send to you that I picked up for you at WonderCon. I just keep forgetting to message you, so remind me. I got two smokes for you, 2 packs of smokes.
Chris, I heard rumors that you were at ZapCon and I missed you. You confirm if that's true or not.
Are you illegally sending?
It's not cigarettes? Tobacco. This is what one of the artists that we both enjoy calls his like little sets of art pieces that you can buy from the cons.
Oh, okay.
I thought packs of smokes.
I was going to say, why didn't you send me some? But that's okay.
Well, the link is down below. Look at that. Impressed Comics right there.
Bam. Where's my proper background here? I'm a mess tonight, John. Here we go. Let's see. We got Candace in the chat. What is going on, Candace? We got Marcus in the chat. Circumstances. Tony, usually you're over on his channel.
Well, no. He's got another 20 minutes. I usually hop on after that.
Oh, there you're gonna be live again. Chris says, I was there quickly with my daughter, but you and Corey were actually doing it. Oh, it was during that time. Cool. No, all good, man. Definitely got to catch up sometime. But thanks for hanging out, brother.
Sorry, Jackson, that we threw a curveball because we changed our mind in the intervening weeks. We decided that this issue tonight, 28, kind of wraps up the Legion storyline, and then 29 is the next storyline. So we decided to partner 29 and 30 instead of 28 and 29.
Yep. Thank you, Tony, for subbing.
Kind of guy I am.
All right. John, do you want to throw some questions to Tony before we get started?
All right, Tony.
All right.
Using your knowledge of X-Men related characters, who are the top 3 drinkers? Which 3 mutants could drink anybody under the table?
Oh, I love this question.
Well, yeah, Wolverine, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right? He's always got beer.
Yeah. You got Wolverine, that's for sure.
He's stuck in a time loop.
Already. He's like, I don't really know any other mutants.
Exactly. I'm
Well,
thinking,
good news is
you
there's
have
like
to
5
drink-
Wolverines, so you
burn
can just
her
keep
up.
going.
So it's like, okay, if Rogue touched Wolverine at the bar, then she could drink 2, right?
Now you're getting creative.
2.
Now you're getting creative. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to because I have very limited. I have a very little education on this.
You got to make it work.
And 3.
Ryan.
Okay, Cannonball, because he would just burn it out. All he had to do go straight up, and he would burn it all out.
Well, he's growing that moonshine back home, right?
Yeah. I mean,
He's
he'd probably be
gotta have
like
liver
this
strength.
beginning, right? He'd be doing this at the beginning, but then he would just like go straight because it would burn out, and then we come back and we hit some more booze.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Okay,
I was gonna throw Emma Frost in there. I think she could drink some of these guys under the table. She's always cheersing. She's always got wine, like that whole.
Yeah,
thing.
but do you ever see her really drink a lot of it?
Just saying, it's
never
empty.
All just show.
What about Colossus? I mean, those Russians put vodka away, right?
Yeah.
So,
Sleep Magic's probably a sleeper too. Yeah.
Good pick.
But you understand?
Is she able to drink? I know some people still say she's not even 21 yet.
Not my picks.
It's a valid.
You asked me for my picks, okay?
I'll have a duel. Okay, Tony. One of my favorite things you do on your channel is reading inappropriate books, little bedtime stories with Tony. Give me your 3 favorite mutants to read you bedtime stories. Who's going to read the bedtime stories?
Emma Frost would be a good one. Okay, all right. Let's go. Let's get real. Emma Frost would be nice.
Right.
Storm, if she was wearing a mohawk and some like some tight black stuff, man. Some leather.
Just reading you. The goal is to make you go to bed, make you go to sleep, not bed you.
Then okay. Beast. It's a friggin' hairy blue guy.
He's got a great voice. If it's Kelsey Grammer, he's got that great voice.
Yeah, but nothing's gonna he's not gonna keep me up at night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
he's gonna read you a science text journal.
Yeah, exactly. He's not, just looking at me. I'm looking for something going to keep me up. Let's get real.
All right, one more.
All right. So I'm looking for something with a nice voice, not a nice something else. Okay. Multi-Man.
Ooh, multiple man.
Because he could go and they could all say the same story in different levels of voice, and then eventually it would just calm me out to sleep.
I thought they would do a performance. Everybody doing the different characters.
No, I'm looking for the voice now. You just killed me because I can't do visuals. Okay, right. I can't do visuals.
All right, Tony. You came out and visited me because we share familial wise some appreciation for Scottish and Portuguese ancestry, right? Our wives bring that element in. If we were going to have a Portuguese Scottish superhero, what would his power be?
Okay. So so it would be like you would call him Superman because it's super, which is Portuguese for soup. So go Superman, and so he would fly. And but what would be a Scottish thing? He would drink everybody under the table, or he would be a really great to be making what's that thing where you make this, you get the stomach of a lamb and you shove it. Haggis. We call him a Charisse Haggis man. Okay, so here it's Charisse because it's a Portuguese sausage, but it's made with haggis. Charisse Haggis man.
Oh my god.
CHM would be his thing on his chest.
It's a lot of letters, but okay.
But it has to be nice. You can't just put C.
You wouldn't just do like a haggis logo, like a bat symbol. Just a haggis.
Just haggis.
Just like a log. It looks like just a log.
Log, but but actually it'd be huge, right? They stuff that stomach up really tight with meat and wheat and stuff.
Does he wear a kilt?
Yes, and no underwear, so nobody can ever look up and say, "Hey."
I was gonna say because he's flying over.
Right, nobody can ever look up to him. They go, "Look, it's Charisse Haggis."
They wouldn't even know he's coming.
Oh no, okay, no, You can't look up because you're gonna see his bagpipe hanging down there. But that's right.
Well, there you go, folks. 3 quick questions with Tony, and we've already ruined the show.
Quick hello to our good friend Bobby Station. Bobby, good to see you, my friend. This is Ben. She has a nice voice. It's true. We got my man E-Man in the chat. What is going on, E-Man? Let's see. Kenneth says, yeah, remember last time the issue was horrible, but Tony talked for 2 hours anyway. Yeah, no shade. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Love you.
There it is. Thank you.
Oh, goodness.
I'll hop on anybody's show, make it much better. I'll do that. I do bar mitzvahs. I do weddings, first communions. Give me a call.
Oh, goodness. All right, gang. Again, just a reminder, if you want to get to know Tony or if you want to block Tony, his information is down below and you can do what you will. Let's dive into this here. We got issue 28, New Mutants, what we're talking about here tonight. Let's start off with this cover here. John, what are your first thoughts when you see this cover?
I mean, it's an odd one. It's hard to make heads or tails of it. I don't know what these creatures are. It's very odd. I do think the color palette is a little muted for me. I get what they were going for, but it's hard to make sense of it because of the way it's been colored. And I really don't think it captures the concept of what's going on inside the book. So in this way, it's kind of forgettable, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. Technically, we don't even get these guys in this issue. This was more for our last issue, if anything. So it's a good point. Thank you, Roy Kirk, dropping the line nice and early.
A little early.
Tony, what are your thoughts with this cover?
I think it's lovely painted, but it looked to me like a lot of weird televisions with antenna getting good reception. Again, this has nothing to do with what's inside the book. It doesn't. And I'm assuming that's Professor X, but he doesn't wear that outfit at all. And you got Rain, but she's in there too. But this cover has nothing to do with what's going inside. Much like many books nowadays, when you see them, you merely cover by and has nothing to do with the story inside. So this is a first cover by.
That's true. Yeah. For the early Claremont stuff, I feel like we didn't run into that issue too much. Literally maybe less than a handful of times for the X-Men side of things. But here this was definitely one. And I would say that's the same for here. We haven't had too many that are like too dramatically off key to the issue. But I agree with you guys. This issue, or this cover, I should say, didn't really stand out to me in any way. And definitely now that we've read it, kind of confuses me even more. So not the best execution with what Bill's been doing, but I mean the artwork's fine. The actual drawing and all that is fine. But yeah, the tones of the colors and everything else kind of throw me off.
Yeah, I mean it's a painting. You can tell it's a painting. This hasn't been drawn.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of work here for not much of a reaction, at least from us. But this is also from 1980, 85? Yeah, 85. So that's like 40 years ago.
Yeah, holy
crap.
What I'm
saying? So
that is scary to think. Yeah, very true.
I was already out of high school. Oh my God. Okay.
We got our man Kenneth Bird in the chat. What is going on, Kenneth? Good to see you. Let's see. All right. Let's dive into the issue then. Right off the bat, Soul War. We were last left off with the team, or really Professor X, essentially being handed a knife by this new guest that we've now met. This guy Jack Wayne happens to be one of the personalities within Legion, and they were going after this Arab who they think are, someone that's destroying the inside of David's mind. David being who we now know as the son of Charles Xavier. So they've gone kind of into his mind, into his world, and that's what you're seeing here is the telepathic side of things, them being in this alternate kind of world that they're in. We get a kind of layout, that splash page. I guess it's kind of representing at first I was wondering, is it representing the mountain or is it representing more of the just what they've traveled through so far. A lot of this is psychedelic. A lot of this is like being created as they go. The big dome that they're trying to break into is what they're still going after right now, and they're climbing up this what seems to appear as this massive mountain. So Xavier and Jack are the main two that you can see in these pages. They do get some company quickly, where they're joined by the rest of the team, which includes this girl Cindy, who is also another a character that's within the Legion group that we met last episode or last issue. And then you also have Danny, you have Doug, you have Gabby, the mother of David, who is there, and Rain, who's also tagging along, and Moira, actually. So you still have a crew there, but we're just kind of figuring things out as we go along. John, what are your thoughts here on just kind of this opening scene? Again, we're kind of just coming off of another issue that kind of dropped us in this next situation that they're traveling on, trying to get to David.
It's not my favorite. I mean, it's a little bit bland. It's a little confusing. I don't think these issues connect really well one to the next. This 3-issue, if you want to call it that, Legion arc. I don't know. This Burt Russell, Tom Selleck thing, this guy Jack Wayne's got going, it's a little out there. Bobby claims that he had this hair when he was a younger man. I don't buy it, Bobby. Nobody's got this hair. Bobby. Even Johnny Depp, when he was doing that movie with the crazy bouffant, now he didn't have this hair. I think the whole thing is just a little odd. I think that maybe this is a bit of a departure where Claremont and Sienkiewicz aren't really coming up with a clear language together like they did in some of the previous issues. So this sequence doesn't have a lot of tension. It doesn't have a lot of drama. It just kind of has a lot of like, what the heck's going on emotion. Whereas it's, the excitement of trying to get to a destination, or are they going to fall to their deaths, or, the challenges they're facing in the fact that they climb up and yet it still feels like they haven't gotten anywhere. Like space and time are being impacted by the fact that they're doing this psychically, right? They're not doing this in the real world. Right. So I just think it lacks any real intense emotion.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Tony, what about you? What are your thoughts here going into this? And I know, you had mentioned you read prior to this, just the issue prior, just to kind of catch up a little bit with some of the characters, but tell me your thoughts as you were diving into this.
First, I 27 and 28 to me didn't match up. Okay. So it ended with Tom Selleck giving, Professor X, hey, here's a knife that will do the job. Yeah. I don't think I'll take it. Looking at this first page, I rather read about the ripoffs on sneakers on the advertisement on the left side than looking at this. 2, no, that's 2. 3, they're climbing a mountain, right? So I'm assuming this thing's a mountain or a really bad house, okay? And if this is the mountain, and I'm looking at this, I see at least 3 doors into this mountain. Why didn't they not go into the mountain and climb up the mountain instead of hanging outside the mountain? But other than that, 20, yeah, I didn't do 26. I didn't see you 26. I apologize. Why am I apologizing? I just didn't do it because I had to get ready for 28.
I accept.
Thank you. And 27 has nothing to do with 28, and I'm assuming 26 really doesn't have anything to do with 27. I really, and look at these words. I hope he got paid by the word when he did this thing. Honestly,
he's not Charles Dickens.
No shit. Wait, where? I can swear now, right? You've been
you're on YouTube. Yeah.
We broke that already, buddy.
Yeah, honest to God. And I'm telling you, Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yep,
sure.
He took the bad acid during Woodstock. I'm telling. I'm honest to God. Just like
at least he's sharing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't take the blue acid because I think it was blue at the time. Anyways, yeah. So I went into this, with 27. Going into this, and I was totally confused. Nothing really, maybe the same people were in it, but nothing really matched up.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
And I want
And
to pair those sneakers because they got the Velcro tops, and you don't.
Nope, nobody can see the ad unless we hold it up, buddy.
yeah, there you go.
Look at that. It puts you at $2 off.
Those are nice. Very
All right,
nice.
I'm done. Okay, go.
Very nice.
Bring back the Velcro.
Candace said, in case you missed issues 1 through 28 or whatever issue this is. Well, let's move on here because this is this part of it. You know, as we get further on, the teams now join them. We do see that there's an attack. Remember, this is kind of taking place in Beirut, and they were, you know, in a couple different areas, right, that were kind of dreamed up as places that were created within the mind of David. And here you see planes, you know, essentially on the attack, and you learn that the two of them, Jack can control, or telekinetic can actually control them, and Cindy can actually light them on fire. Apparently she can light anything that she sees on fire. So she lights them on fire. Jack throws them into the actual wall or the mountain itself, trying to do some damage, and nothing really happens. Professor X says, hey, you know, I appreciate you trying to do good here and all, but, you know, I think we need to work together. We need to communicate. Can you let me know you're going to do something before you go ahead and do it next time? So Professor X, you know, trying to take charge here. Jack seems to be a little bit of a wild, a wild card with everything he does. But meanwhile, you do get some curiosity from Rain. She's kind of concerned, doesn't quite trust Jack. We get little hints of just her thoughts on the whole situation so far. And then after that, out of nowhere, we get this gust of wind that kind of comes through, and all these spikes are coming out of nowhere. So again, just as a reminder, we're in this created world inside the mind of Legion or David at this point. So literally anything can happen as far as the buildings, the structures. Nothing makes sense. The weather, everything can change on a dime. So kind of a lot just to kind of take in. But Tony, what are your thoughts here as we kind of move through this and see the team again?
You just went through 6 pages really quick.
Three
pages.
No. Here's page 2.
There's 3 screenshots right in front of you.
That was on the last slide, buddy.
Oh, it was?
The first one starts with Cindy there, and
I'm not used to this stuff. I mean,
you're doing great, Tony.
Professor X.
You do watch this show every week.
Professor X, he's not really up to par. So he's not able to climb this mountain that I don't think there's ever been a mountain like this in Beirut, but that's not me. I've never been there. And Tom Selleck saves him and brings him up, and it's really bad. And yes, and then like it makes me laugh that Tom Selleck and Cindy, he's like tapping her head, but they're part of they're part of the same person, right? So he's a
they're like these created personalities inside.
Yeah, he's a prick with nice hair. But
it's always the creeps, they get.
Yeah, it's always the creeps. You know what I'm saying? And I like the idea. Okay, let me take these off because after a while these get pain in the ass. Okay, and so and like it's Rain. Is it Rain?
Yeah.
RH. Okay. So is that her senses that she doesn't like the guy because she's in the wolf form, or is it because in general?
I think it's a little of both. I think it's a little just intuition that she has, just kind of getting a feel for this guy, and then partially, the fact that she's in her wolfbane, body essentially right now. So
I'm trying to catch up with the pictures here.
You're doing great.
The chat is hilarious tonight. You guys are on it.
John, what about you? What are your thoughts here as we get into this and again see a lot of the world changing?
I feel like there's a lot of like missed opportunities in this issue, and maybe in this 3-issue plot altogether. So what we have here for anybody who doesn't know anything about the character, and which they're not really spelling out very well, is David not only has superior abilities to Xavier, right? All the same abilities Xavier has, but on a superior level. But he's also a schizophrenic. Like he is mentally unwell, and he has these personalities that he has created to help him navigate the traumas he's gone through in life. And so he is mentally unstable and not in control of his own thoughts and his own mind. And as a result, this is a very unstable world. His schizophrenia is impacting everything in this dream world, but in the world outside, right? So I just wish that they'd done a better job of articulating some of that here. I think it would have made for a more powerful issue. And ultimately, we don't even get to know David. We get to know these fragments of personalities that he's absorbed and created.
Yeah.
But these characters are hard to connect with because they are just so abstract.
It's great. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I'll tell you, I was definitely confused throughout all this issue, trying to go back and get a good understanding of certain things. So this was definitely required a few extra times, kind of rereads, especially for some of these pages. But let's keep it going here, because we do kind of shift gears just a little bit as we get.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying, John's saying, you're seeing the not the kid, but his different personalities in the past books, not 27, because they haven't done it. Have they brought out David at all? Is this the first time we're actually seeing him? So
this is the very first time we met David, was 3 issues ago.
3 issues.
Issue 26.
Yeah.
Is his and in fact, I wanted to mention too, that's when they changed the font of the title of the comic too. This is
cool.
the new this new font hit in issue 26. And it
nice.
Goes all the way, I think, to the end of the run from here on out. But yeah, so this is David's first appearance, and these personalities are all their first appearances as well. And as we get to know David over the next 30 whatever years, he continues to be more, we get more of the true person and less of these fragments. But let's move on, because I know Tony's excited about this page, because a lot of booty on this page.
We got my man Chris in the chat. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, a lot of booty, but there's a lot of leg. No cushion for the pushing. There's just
I wasn't asking for your score.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, we changed gears here just a little bit, as we've been getting little hints of the interactions between Lee Forrester and Magneto. If you guys don't remember Lee Forrester, she was technically introduced in a story arc with Cyclops back on like 150 something or 160 something.
Sure.
So this is a stemming, as we know, Claremont always planting these little seeds of stories. So this is kind of continuing that. We have gotten these two in the last 3 straight issues, maybe 4 even at this point. So he is trying to go somewhere, not quite sure, but we do get little glimpses of this Magneto that to me is very new compared to the Magneto I know. He's become much more friendlier, kinder. He's admitted that he's wrong. He's 2 episodes ago, he apologized for the first time in a comic book. It was very unique stuff. So for here, we have Lee Forrester, who's taking a swim, but she's very much struggling with what's going on in her mind, with the fact that she's kind of crushing on Magneto. They kind of had a thing before this last issue. But she also realizes that he is very dangerous, that he is very much against, humanity, in the sense that he is superior. And so she's, just struggling with that ultimately. And Magneto, trying to do everything in the most kindest way, he brings her, breakfast and, tries to woo her essentially. And she's just not having it. She tries to swim away. And then he, grabs her out of the water with his powers and basically drops her back down. And she kind of, he's like, what's wrong? Why, do I not, have I not been nice to you? Have I not, I don't hurt you. I don't, anything like that. And she just points out like, hey, listen, like, sure, maybe you've been nice, but like the thing you just did, like taking control over me, how do I not know you've been using powers to some degree this whole time? So she's a little freaked out. He does offer her hand, his hand, and she just walks away. So a little bit of an awkward back and forth between the two. Again, Lee's struggling with her feelings and the fact that he is who he is, Magneto. So John, what are your thoughts here on this kind of left turn that we took here?
It's an intense few pages that we get between the two of them. I feel like Sienkiewicz doesn't draw it the way maybe it could have been to showcase what's happening. He even skips showing us Magneto using his powers on her.
Yeah,
they just tell us in the thought bubble from Lee that he did this, which for me is a very strange choice. The most dynamic moment would be him grabbing her with his powers and pulling her from the water and dropping her on the ground or pulling her to the shore. We don't see any of that. We just hear her say that he did it. And then we get these intense facial expressions. One where it looks like he's like almost pulling back on her hair. She's just like in this weird pose down there in the bottom middle. And the other where she's screaming at him in black and white on the far panel, where she just seems like she's in pain, where he asks her, "Are you scared of me?" And she screams yes in this very intense way. And it's like, this does not feel consensual, I guess I would say, because it seemed like that in the last issue. So there's this disconnect for me from issue to issue with this story between the two of them, and it seems a little odd. I don't feel like there's a consistency going on here. And yeah, Bobby, clearly his summer wear is just lose the sleeves. Sun's out, guns out is Magneto's way.
That's how he rolls. There you go, Tony, putting on the eyebrows.
He does have Tony's eyebrows.
Tony, what are your thoughts here? I know this, again, these are kind of little added plots that we've been getting randomly throughout these last few issues, but any thoughts to seeing Magneto and his interaction here with Lee?
Okay, are we assuming that they did the wild thing already in the past issue?
I mean, it seemed like they crashed out the bed, right? And then he saved her, and they kissed, and they flew back in. I assumed that they were affectionate.
Yeah. So are we assuming that she's confused because she popped her mutant cherry?
I don't know, but I was assuming that until this set of pages, and that makes me doubt. So maybe it was just a kiss, and now we're both in an awkward after phase. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm thinking she's confused because she did the wild thing with him, and now she doesn't know what to do because he's a mutant and with negative things, but then he's been nice to me and all that stuff, and then he brings her breakfast. Come on, and and so and still she's totally confused and stuff like that. I don't know. And then he tells more about himself here.
What about you, Tony? Do you think that they did it?
Oh yeah, I think massively they did the wild thing over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bobby said it was a different time.
It was.
And so I think she likes the whine. This is a whiny, looks like a very whiny Magneto. He's been whining and
I mean, it definitely is a different Magneto. He is showing a different side to him for sure. Yeah. And this is one that, I mean, I made the joke that he, apologized for the first time in a comic book last issue. And it's kind of true. Like, we've never seen him admit that he's wrong before. We've never seen him, apologize for anything or be in the wrong. So this all is very new for him.
And he's recovering, for those that don't remember, he's recovering from a serious accident, right? When Warlock's character first came to Earth, his asteroid or whatever, as he flew into the planet, destroyed Magneto's lair in outer space, shattered it, and Magneto basically crashed down to Earth and was found in the ocean by Lee here. So his powers aren't at full strength. He is definitely injured in some different ways, and so maybe that's impacting him. I don't know.
I don't know, but he's really whiny, and I'm glad he never has his haircut ever again. And Sienkiewicz loves necks, all big ass necks with a little chin, with a chin there. But anyways, this is like a Magneto that's really whiny. Do I think that they had some good times? Yes, that's why she's torn, because she's seeing mutants as a negative thing. At the same time, he's being nice to me. He's doing this to me. He's like whatever, and that's the problem. So she's torn, and yes, I think they did the wild thing.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. Well, let's keep it going then. We go back to the team here, and these are some ridiculous pages because, we basically, as they're trying to figure out how they're all going to move together as a group, you have Jack, who has the power to move things. Telekinesis. He's using this platform to have everybody stand on it. He's kind of explaining to Professor X that he's using up a lot of his power to kind of focus and do this. And meanwhile, you got Cindy here who's hitting on Doug. Poor Doug. He doesn't know what to do. Cindy's like, hey, stick close to me. She calls him a hunk. He goes, I'll keep you nice and roasty. I just keep thinking about like Sam and his like hookup with Lila Cheney from last couple episodes ago. So like all these guys getting these random girls that you wouldn't expect working out. But
these young blonde straight arrows like all the punch girls.
Yeah, exactly.
They like the good guys. I'm telling you, they like the good guys.
Yeah, these guys are all nervous. They don't know what to do. So meanwhile, they have Professor X. He's like, he notices it in this first page here, and right next to Tony, he goes, oh man, poor Douglas. But I hope that attraction Cindy feels for him will persuade her to aid us in when the time comes. He's like, hey, Doug. He's like, work your magic, man. Like, do whatever it is, whatever it takes.
What happens in the Psi world stays in the Psi
world. Yeah. Professor X is pulling out all the tricks. And then after that, they end up going after the Arab, who they still at this point now finally learn his name. His name is Jamel Karami. This is someone who, again, they've painted as this villain who we don't really know the full truth on this character, other than they think that he's been causing all this havoc inside of David's mind. And Jack and Cindy are pretty certain that this is, the dangerous guy they got to get rid of. So they actually they work together to get after him while they're floating up. Professor X is, working with Danny to use her powers to extend and try to, basically use her powers against him. And he tells her to strike. She puts on all her power, and you get that red kind of, body getting hit as Jamal, gets taken out. Bless you. And then meanwhile, they're topsy-turvy. They end up kind of falling over. You see a little bit of friction between the two, or friction between Jack and Cindy here, but otherwise, just this kind of happened quickly, getting to Jamel as quick as they did. But John, what were your thoughts here on where the team's going with this?
I mean, the problem I've got with it is it's so obvious that the twist that we're gonna get as far as Jamel and Jack and who is really not to be trusted. I feel like there's no drama to this story because we can see the twists coming. In fact, several characters are like, I don't trust this Jack guy. I don't like this Jack guy. Nobody likes this Jack guy. So for me, it completely saps this story of any real intense drama and any excitement. And the twist is going to fall so flat when we get there because it's being like written in air writing across the sky. Like it's so clear that the airplane wrote it up in the sky for us.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Tony, what about you? What are your thoughts here as the team finally gets, finds out who this Jamel guy is and goes in for the attack?
Okay. One, do you think Jamel has big black hair underneath that hat of his? Cindy's got big black hair. Tom Selleck has big black hair. And Jamal, do you think he has big black hair underneath that hat?
Maybe.
No, they have to be because the three are the same person. Nobody's mentioned that Cindy's got some big black hair. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Tom Selleck. I just want to make that observation. Okay. 2, we're just assuming that Jamal is a bad guy only because Tom Selleck says he's a bad guy.
Yep.
So this whole thing.
Yep.
And we already know that Tom Selleck is not really for the team. He's more for himself. We already have that feeling. Okay. Yep. So, so the idea that the reveal is going to fall flat. Yeah, because we already know it's going to fall flat because Jack's the only one that's making the deal. He brought the knife. He's the one that's saying that this guy is the bad guy and the whole 9 yards. But we know Tom Selleck's a prick. So we already know what's going on. And I love how it says, but then that's Charles. And that's the father and the mother right there looking, right? Split in the face.
No, that's Danny Moonstar.
Well, that kind of goes out the window, and I don't want to say that ever again. Okay, so
it's Xavier and Danny are basically the only characters we can know and trust as reliable narrators in the story to navigate and see the truth of this space, and they're communicating telepathically with each other within David's mind as a way to kind of balance out the psychedelic around them and ground themselves in a way. So they're using each other as like psychic anchors.
But wouldn't that be better if that was the mother and they were both pissed at the guy?
No.
Really? Look at the next face. He's like,
you want more time with the mom and less time with Danny? Get out of here.
No, both of them looking at him like, I'm pissed at you. And he's like, Look
If they were pissed, they would have the like pointy, angry eyebrows, right?
Oh.
No, they do. Oh,
this tape is not gonna stick anymore. And like, you know what I'm saying? There you go. See, good boy. Oh yeah. Oh, it's backwards. Okay.
are mine pointy enough? Sorry.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Okay, so okay, all right, okay. And then I like the red. It wasn't a yawn. It was him getting hit, but I didn't want to say it too loud. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rewriting the story. Yes, I am. 40 years later, my story's better. Okay. So
I mean, honestly, I think this story could have used a little rewrite, but you know,
I think know what's going on.
I think it could have been done with a little more intensity. It's coming off a little flat and a little repetitive, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of detail that I feel like they're just trying to throw in at this point and drag it out a little bit too much. But let's jump into the next bit because we do see. Oh, did I switch these pages? Oh no, I didn't. So they after they take him out, they're trying to figure out what to do next. You see the team kind of regrouping. I love this moment though, as they're trying to figure out how do they get inside this big dome. That was the goal, right? As Jack keeps saying, he's like, you got to get in there. That's where the controls are for David's mind. That's where Jamel was trying to get to, and everything else. We need to try to get in there. And Doug comes in doing some Star Trek references here.
Yes,
about the tricks of what had happened in an episode prior to this, and how telepaths were basically using abilities to make people think. Yeah, something that wasn't really going on, that their weapons weren't really working, but it wasn't true. And so in the very same way, it turns out that this dome was really a fake setup for what was the truth. I mean, even the mountain, them landing where they are right now, it showed that they were actually not as high up as they thought they were. So all of it now is kind of hinting, Professor X is picking up that this is not what we think it is, even though it's what is seen in front of us. So you see Professor X walking through the bubble, the dome there, and breaking through pretty easily. He just walks right through and immediately sees all these different crystals, these fragments that are spaced out everywhere. And this is essentially crystals that are representing his memory, the all the different memories that David has. And now these are all at this point scattered and shattered throughout. They do see little glimpses of moments of family. This is something on that far panel there that Professor X kind of points out. It's just a reminder what's going on through, Charles's head with not being there for his son, not knowing he had a son, and why did Gabby keep this all from him? And one of those memories that were in the crystals was a family portrait, but it was really more focused on the happiness between David and Gabby. Professor X not anywhere to be mentioned or in sight. So that's part of what we're seeing with some of the crystals. We also have again, little hints that Rain is she's now checking in with Danny, talking with their report that they have. Rain's telling Danny, hey, listen, I'm just getting bad vibes from Jack. I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is, but I'm just not trusting what he's saying. And Danny's kind of like, yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, you like some people, you don't like some people. And she's at first trying to chalk it up to that. Like, hey, sometimes you got to work with people you don't like. But as we go along, she starts to kind of see what Rain is talking about and starts to get that same kind of vibe from him of not trusting Jack. And even Jack is like very aggressive. He talks about it's kill or be killed here. No holding back. We got to go in there and just destroy all these crystals. This is all the doing of Jamel. Essentially trying to throw Jamel under the bus for all the things that are going on. So, a lot in these pages, you do see, again, Cindy kind of hitting on Doug a little bit more, poor Doug. But you're right, John, like to your points before, like it does feel very repetitive in here. But, what are your thoughts here as we continue going? Now we discover this whole dome is a fake and the mountain was a fake and everything else. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think this is the most interesting portion we've had to now. The idea of an illusion inside of this reality that the kids are able to kind of suss out, and then going inside these like fragmented glass shards of memories that are broken by trauma, and yet Jamel has been, at least it seems, putting them back together again. The fragments are trying to heal. There's a wonderful metaphor here for mental health and trauma, right? And mental trauma and scarred, that scarred inner scar tissue. And I think it's a nice visual metaphor that was way more interesting than whatever stupid mountain thing we were dealing with earlier that I think was kind of unnecessary. And this visually is more interesting. That panel of the black with Xavier floating with the shapes is so interesting. And then later when Doug's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting cut by these things, they're sharp, you guys got to watch out. I think there's some interesting physical elements that they're dealing with inside as well. So yeah, I was more entertained at this point.
Yeah. Tony, what about you? What are your thoughts here at this point, seeing that they can go into this dome? I know that the dome aspect might not have really been at the forefront of where, you were at, Tony, with where you read so far, but that was essentially the goal, was them trying to get in here, and they thought it was going to be a much bigger task than it apparently was. So Doug kind of coming in handy here, figuring it out, using some Star Trek references. But
God, will you shut up already?
You
want me to say something? You're over talking.
Well,
Anyways.
Wow.
No, I love you. I love it. Anyway,
oh my goodness.
I agree. This is more interesting than them climbing up a mountain, having airplanes, and having a wind, and having spikes, and the whole 9 yards. This is the situation here. Legion is mentally issued, right? He's got 3 personalities. He's got everything's fragmented, aka you got a bunch of freaking crystals who are fragmented, right?
Yep.
Yes, fragmented crystals cut because mental. You have mental problems, mental health. It does cut. It's painful. What are you laughing like? What is he smiling for? I'm being serious. Yeah, you go. Anyway, yeah. So this is more interesting. This is more about David than the rest of the stuff. The rest of the stuff was, I don't know. They could have done the whole story in 1, 2, 3, 4. They did a little piece there, like 5, 6 pages. The rest is just climbing a mountain that wasn't there because David put up walls. and then yes, he put here's my dome, but he actually didn't want to not get help. If you can go through a wall like that so easily, he wants help. Okay, so there you so and then memories, whatever that made him the way he is, they're fragmented. And yes, the third, what's his name? Jamal, tomato. He's trying to fix this stuff. So I mean, this is more important than the rest of this all this pages here.
Yeah.
And then the idea of seeing Tom Selleck still fighting the issue should also give you a little bit more that he's really the bad guy in this one. Okay, so watch out for the shards. Here's the crystals. Here's his memories. All this stuff, and then I still want to kill the guy. So and City Trail is still trying to get into Doug's pants. That's just like it's icing on the cake.
Aggressive, very aggressive.
Yeah. Hey,
as Jackson Roy Kirk says, Doug speaks multiple languages, including the language of love.
Yeah.
Language of love.
And this is true. Star Trek can solve any problem. Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I mean, I agree that these pages plus Professor X in the middle frame, right? What the hell's going on his brow? His
it's falling off his face. It's falling off.
It's like leaving his body. Look at that thing. That thing's like hanging off.
It's the black tape.
12 inches off his head.
It's the black tape.
It's the sad brows.
Yeah, the adhesive is just coming off.
Sad brows.
It's dry where he is. It's real dry.
Oh my God, he needs some gel or something. I'm doing this wrong. No, here you go. It's like leaving his body. It's like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Plus, I hope Claremont gets paid by the word, because this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if you've read anything of Claremont's, you know you're getting into this. This is word bubble galore for everything he's really done throughout these 5 seasons that we've done. Just I guess the times, right? But let's keep it going here. We switch it up a little bit when we get another. This is a little bit of excitement, right? We get it's a cascading out of the darkness comes another crystal cluster, far larger and more complex than David's, in the center, in which is the shrieking flailing form of Jamel, Karami. So now you get more of these crystals come flying at them, again, with different loads of memories. And these things are sharp, as John pointed out. You actually can get hurt by them. So they're trying to deal with this. Meanwhile, Gabby kind of gets this she sees all these memories, as you can see, like kind of lining up, and we get a little bit of a flashback, really, of just a glimpse into what actually happened. And this is where we really learn the truth that Jamel, he was in this big attack that had happened, this team of assassins. That was part of what his assassination team, trying to kill everybody in Israel. That's where they brought that platform in. And as he dies, or as multiple people die here, they get kind of pulled into David's mind. When David's, as a child, is scared, and his abilities that he uses, he ends up kind of feeling all the feelings that are happening to a guy like Jamel, and this is where the minds kind of meet, and this is where it gets, for me, it gets a little over the top. And again, I'm very new to Legion, not understanding fully how his powers work and everything, but essentially to see that this is how these characters were essentially pulled in to David's mind. It was an accident. It was by him not knowing his own powers, and coming into play with everything. And then it just so happened that Jamel, the first thing he picked up was David's ability is telepathy and being able to read minds. And at first he hated where he was. He hated being in David's mind. He hated how the accident went down and his death, and really how he was more prepared for actual death than he was, going into this world that he's in. So, but as he starts to see the memories of this innocent child being David, he starts to kind of have a softer heart for everything and get an understanding of, who David was, and that this was not, his fault of any sort. And so because of that kind of encouraged him to actually want to help David and rebuild everything. So this whole truth is, again, Jack has been spinning this whole thing incorrectly the whole time, kind of faking out the whole team, really for his own good doing. And really Jamel is a good guy. He's trying to do good. He's trying to help David, repair his mind mentally. So, this was definitely very revealing. Meanwhile, you have Gabby, who just jumps on top of Jamel. She starts swinging away at him. She's just like, this guy is a bad guy, and I'm going to take him out. And, Professor X says, no, nobody kills, nobody dies. Do you hear me? Nobody does this. He tries to remove, and then Rain, he gets attacked, and Rain jumps in the way, tries to save him. This is where, again, a lot of crystals were kind of flying everywhere, trying to keep up with all that stuff. And then we get into a little side part, which I guess I did include in these panels here. But again, just jumping, finally you get to see. Well, first you get to see Jack is alone with his knife standing over Jamel, which is exactly the scenario that he wants. And then it flash forwards to New York City. So it's a little bit random, a little bit like, hey, I know
in the middle of the page too. Like it's not even the bottom or the top of the page. It's like 2/3 of the way through the page.
Right. So it's all this action, and then we flip over to the Hellfire Club, which again, this is another little set of seeds that we've been seeing, throughout the last couple of issues. And in this case, we see Empath, who is talking to someone and showing images of Magma and Sunspot. And just trying to, he has an evil plan, essentially, not quite sure exactly what he wanted to do. It seems like they're going to be kidnapped. He's agreeing to some sort of kidnap. We don't know who this other person is that Empath is talking to, but man, this kind of came out of nowhere. So there's a lot on these particular pages. Tony, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are your thoughts here with some of the action and the truth that comes out about Jamel, and then this random side gig for New York City?
All right. So with Jamel, again, you find out, he's actually doing good. He's trying to fix David, right? It's David, right? So he's trying to fix David. Yep. Though Gabby doesn't really believe it, and whatever. And then there's the flashback. What I don't understand is, okay, so there's 3 parts of David, right? There is Jamel, there is Tom Selleck. Where does Cindy come from?
They have not explained. Honestly, we don't know where Jack came from.
Yeah, we don't know Jack.
Yes, we do.
The only backstory we got was,
look at the picture of the people shooting his.
One of them has a mustache, but they don't clearly say that.
Yeah, it doesn't confirm that.
His hair is definitely.
Okay, wait, hold on. The picture shows a guy who looks like Jack.
You think?
The second picture is the guy with a hat, so that's Jamal. So,
but then this other guy is not mentioned, and we're talking about Cindy. So that's why I don't think it's not accurate.
3 people killing his godfather, and it looks like Jack. I'm sorry, that's Jack, and that's Jamal, right there. So the other guy, his name's I don't know, Sylvester, shorted for Sydney. Cindy, I don't know. Where do they? I'm assuming this are the 3 people who get absorbed into David because of this thing that happened when he was a child. AKA, if you're a mutant, there is a certain thing when you get to a certain age triggers your abilities, and that could have been it. And then if you look down at the next picture, which is purple, what's happening to them right there? All 3 are getting sucked in?
No.
What is that? What's happening there?
So I disagree that that's Jack, firstly. I don't know where the Jack and Cindy personas come from. I don't think she's also from the Brady Bunch. So sorry, Bobby and Magic Lasso, that I know that the youngest one had curls, but she's not. This is not that Cindy. I think these are splintered parts of his personality. They talk about how in this moment, in that trauma, his mutant power was born unleashed, and he killed those 3 guys. His ability kills those guys, and in doing so, somehow he pulls the psyche of one of them into his body, into his mind, and creates a version of that person to live in his mind.
Read the words. It says murderers, not murderer.
Yeah, he kills those murderers. Yes.
No. In a split second, David incinerated the brains of the would-be murderers, but as he did, he also forced that instant merge minds with each of his victims, actually becoming them, felt their thoughts and their emotions, and at the moment of their deaths. That was the trauma which scattered his own psyche. A gentle, loving boy forced suddenly to kill, and into the void was sucked Jamal, slain. So he pulled 3.
No, it says he pulled into that void Jamail, just the one.
But he sucked 3.
No, it doesn't say that.
Yes, it did.
No, it says he says he felt their emotions and their psyches. David incinerated the brains, and as he did, he also for that instant merged the minds with each of his victims, and in that he pulled Jamail in. So he actually pulled all of Jamail's psyche into himself, just the one guy.
But he merged the 3 into Jamal, and then
I guess you could say that. The truth is, whatever he created in his mind wasn't Jamail. It was a splintered, AI version of Jamail. It's not Jamail. It's what he envisioned of Jamail and what little he could glean in that moment. It's not. He didn't actually take the entirety of Jamail inside, right? And then that version of Jamail has continued to grow and evolve inside of his mind like a weird virus.
Then where did a child get Jack and Cindy?
That I don't know, and
it's just not explained yet. Yeah,
they don't tell us yet.
Yeah.
And the truth is, as the character gets more and more explored, there's a lot more going on in the David Haller mind than just these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
We got a lot. By the way, quick hello to Inja and Sheena in the chat. Hello. Bobby says, to understand who David is, you got to understand who David was. Deep, Bobby, deep. Let's see. We got JP in the chat. What is going on, JP? Good to see you.
Tony has a better understanding. No, he does not. Out of here.
Of course I do. I understand complex things. That's why
he took notes.
Yeah.
No,
Roy Kirk says there are many people in there that we haven't even met yet.
Yep.
He's been pulling people in for years. So there you go. Yeah, there's a lot more complex characters that I'm sure we'll meet at some point. But let's keep it going here. We do.
Hold on, I wasn't done yet.
Oh, good. Sorry, Tony.
He's definitely done.
I think that, right, because of 29 is totally different from 28. They had to put that little piece in there, at the Hellfire Club. But I don't understand why they stuck it in the middle of the story and not at the end of the story.
I agree. I know that it's setting up the next 2 issues,
Claremont,
where we get more with Magma and Sunspot. But yeah, I agree. It's very disjointed.
He just throws things wherever he wants. It's the seeds he's planting.
Okay, I'm done.
They're random. So then we flash back to the action where we get, we have Jack, who's essentially standing over Jamel with a blade, trying to strike him. And then we have Sam, who jumps in the way to kind of shake things up. I almost forgot that Sam, is that Sam or is that
where?
Oh, that's diving. That is Sam, right?
No, I believe that's Doug.
Okay, I was thinking
Sam's not here. Sam's not in any of these issues.
Okay, that's where I was
confused. If you look at the one when he's getting hit, he's got longer hair than Sam.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go. So he tries anyways to shake things up, but Jack has no problem with just throwing him. He just completely tosses him. And then Danny comes in. Danny, honestly, is the VIP the MVP, I should say, of this whole episode or this whole issue. She comes in and finally puts Jack to bed, like completely just says, "Hey, Mr. Wayne, like you're showing your true colors," and lets him have it. Shows his greatest fear, and it actually is Professor X being a loving father to his son. And Jack, says cringing and crying into the shadows as he goes rearing off. And then meanwhile, they kind of gather the pieces to figure out, what's happening. Doug has to try to control Gabby, calm her down because she's still very fired up. And meanwhile, Danny has this one-on-one kind of conversation with Jamel to kind of figure out the rest of the story and get an understanding. I guess Jamel learns how to speak English during that clash that he had with Doug, picked up some of his abilities, which I wasn't sure how that worked as far as his, absorbing goes. I know he's telekinetic, so or telepathic, I should say. So maybe that's why or how he picked it up. But otherwise, we kind of get the rest of the this. Oh, we get to see Sharon and Tom Corsi. Remember them, John?
Our Native American friends. Yes.
Yeah.
Newly Native American friends.
And Jamel basically explains kind of the rest of the situation, what he was trying to do, and the fact that he was trying to help David, trying to rebuild the mind. And now he's concerned that he's going to have to continue his work all over again based on everything that's kind of happened here so far. So there's a lot that's going on. They do try to figure out what Danny really is the one that comes up with the plan of how they can rebuild and how quickly they can. At this point, Professor X is knocked out, so they don't have him. But she does come up with the idea that if they work together, both Jamel and Jack, even though how can you really trust Jack? She says, I don't trust Jack, just like I don't trust you. I don't really know either of you, but here's where we're at. If you guys get out of line, you're going to come, you have to answer to me. She kind of wakes Jack up and threatens him about it. And he's like, yeah, no, I'll help. And then next thing you know, they are essentially waking up out of this whole world. So this is kind of how the scene ends, essentially, at least the scene of being inside the mind of David. So John, what are your thoughts here on how this portion of this story wraps up?
It's so clumsy. It's so clumsy. I had to reread it a couple of times to really get it all. It looked like she's karate chopping him in the neck at one point. I was like, is she hitting Jack in the neck? No, she's using her powers on him to wake him up.
Yeah.
But it looks like she's giving him the Austin Powers judo chop to the neck. I was like, firstly, I was like, where was Jack? I thought he ran off, but now he's like right behind her and she's judo chopping him. I was like, this is judo really chop. A little bit. Judo chop. I really feel like this was anticlimactic and did not have the intensity of them finally reaching some level of communication with David and then freeing themselves from his mind. Instead, it just kind of like happened. Oh yeah, we're out again. And it didn't have this like exciting end of like, no, they figured something out. They've connected with David. Instead, we feel like we've never connected with David. All we've connected with are these fragments inside of him and not even been given full, I don't know, understanding or relationship to these personalities, so that it's hard for us to understand like the meaningfulness of each of these. So yeah, very, very disjointed. And in the end kind of felt like it just ended.
Yeah, I agree. A bit of a letdown in comparison to just what we had built up to in the last couple of issues. Tony, what are your thoughts here as we get out of the world of David, essentially?
Well, I think on Tom Selleck's biggest fear is the, his father curing his son. If he cures his son, then there is no Tom Selleck, there's no Cindy, and there's no guy with a hat on. So I think that's his biggest fear in this whole thing, and that's why he's been trying to kill. What's his name again?
Charles.
What is it?
Jamail.
Yeah, Jamato. Anyways, that's why he's trying to kill him, because if it succeeds, then David's cured, and then Jack doesn't exist anymore. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then you have Danny here. It's like, I'll take care of Jamal. I'll help work with him to fix this. Okay, so these are eyebrows. I can't let Professor X be the only bald guy with big ass brows.
He's trying to, yeah.
So and the reason why Jamal speaks English is because Doug is basically, he's a mutant, but all he does is know languages, so his mind's not guarded. So he was able to get absorb Doug's mind to be able to speak English.
Yeah, he was able to use Doug's power by going through his mind.
There you go. And so then okay, then you see the other two, and they're floating here, and it's just nice that his Indian loincloth just doesn't go with, there's no gravity here for that guy. He's just floating, but there's gravity for his loincloth to cover his jewels there. But that's pretty cool. That's good.
Priorities.
Good writing there. Yeah. So I'm trying to go with the pitches here that I'm seeing here. Okay, we're stopping here. So so Jack's gonna have to help. And
don't worry, we got one more set of panels. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we all have to
I can
do
put mine on my glasses almost.
Oh yeah, if I do it with my glasses,
one has to be a little crooked, right, Tony?
Definitely has to be.
Yeah. The right one has to be out here someplace, because that thing was flying off.
It's going off of the paper. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So, and then why does Professor? Why do they always have to do that big ass head? Oh, we're not. Yeah, right there. All the way to the right, down the bottom, the middle. Why do they always have to do that big ass head? It's just like,
you just like the close-ups.
Yeah. What is that? It's like, Mora, I'm back. We're all in reality home. It's like
that trippy vibe.
There you go.
Trippy psychedelic vibe.
Yeah. So Jack realizes, I got to do this. Yeah. And there you go.
Ryan, you can't have both. It's the eyebrows or the giant size X-Men one.
And we chose eyebrows. Yeah. We clearly chose eyebrows.
Candace said Tony wore it best.
Thank you very much. I worked on these.
And first.
Notice mine are black.
First and best.
His are just like the half-ass blue. Right?
Don't hate on the blue eyebrow people. Come on. All right, let's wrap up this issue here. We get the last couple pages where, Professor X wakes up. He's been knocked out for quite some time, a couple weeks, right? And as he wakes up, Moira, kind of expressing her concerns. They basically, she assures that everybody's okay, everybody's out now, and they get a little bit of well, first of all, they highlight Danny's achievements, kind of what she did, because Professor X didn't do anything. He was kind of useless in the end. But Danny really did come through, where she was the one that worked with Jamel and Jack and helped build and fix and recreate all the damage that was done, the crystals and everything else inside of Legion's or David's head. Meanwhile, you get this father-son I guess reconnect here, which interesting enough, you have this boy who's really in more of a grown-up's body at this point, because he really didn't, as we learned in some of those flashbacks, he didn't really grow up because he took over all these personas. But you get to see a little bit of Jack, you get to see a little bit of Jamel, Cindy, all talking just within those those middle panels there, as David's speaking, and then finally it's David who kind of comes out and gives Professor X a big hug there, and then it kind of closes out with just Gabby and Professor X walking down the shore and just talking about everything that just happened. questioning what's going to happen from here. Professor X saying he swears he's gonna be in his life. He's gonna be there to help him. He's gonna see whatever he can do to kind of help David grow into out of the situation he was in. And then it leaves with another little cliffhanger, which I guess technically takes place into Secret Wars 2. Because Professor X is like, I don't even know if any of this was even worth it, because there's a lot of bad things that are coming our way. So, never read Secret Wars 2, but that is technically what is leading into these last few pages. So, John, what are your thoughts on how this issue ended, kind of the aftermath of being outside of David's brain?
I mean, the awkward Xavier hug is always a win. I think that's always a great, strong way to end an issue. And then Xavier walking on a Scottish beach with his ex, arm in arm. That's kind of strange as well. It's just, there's the emotional beats are so off. Yep. They're just really not working. And so I get what they were going for, but it's not working. Also, the caricature faces for David now that we're finally spending time with him, he looks like a freaking political cartoon. Like, it's so bad. His chin is like a quarter of the size that it actually should be. His forehead and hair is like double the size that it needs to be. So the whole thing just comes off as cartoonish.
Yes.
Which I know it's a comic book, but the rest of the characters are normalized, and those 4 center panels there of his face and close up don't work at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely all over the place here at the end, especially with some of the artwork. Quick hello to Damien, Sleepy Reader. What's going on, my friend? Candace, who said, I had to explain to Carlos why Tony had tape on his forehead. He thinks it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Tony, what are your thoughts here, how this issue ended?
One, I'm very glad that they emphasize that the balding gene is carried by the mother's side. So he's got hair. 2, I'm going back to the idea that all neck, little chin, that makes no sense, right? With this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, so you realize that Danny did what she could, and all 3 entities are still in.
David has those Reed Richards arms.
Yeah, I mean, why, I don't understand why they made David so weird. I don't understand that.
I agree.
Yep.
It makes no sense. Everybody else, even his arms, his legs, his body in that red tank top. I mean, couldn't get him the little sleeves there because he doesn't have any biceps. And then they do the work, So now Charles and Gabby, is it Gabby, right?
Yeah.
So they're all now happy with each other. I mean, now through all this stuff, just I'm all happy with you. It's like, I mean,
you kept my son from me for almost 20 years, but it's all good. It's all good. I never knew I had a kid, and I missed out on his entire life when I could have used my abilities to help him. Like, spoiler alert, I helped you with the same freaking problem, but you kept him from me, and then you invite me here to try to save him, but you don't tell me all the truth. Force me to figure it out, almost die. But let's walk on the beach together, babe. I still love you.
Yeah, I still love you. Hey,
love you, baby.
There's a Beyonder coming. Then meanwhile, back at the mansion, I don't understand back at the mansion. If anybody read 29, which I'm not going to be on 20 for that show, it will be Bearded Comics. I don't understand the mansion.
What's the problem with it?
I don't know. I'm jumping ahead.
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's a whole.
We gave you an hour and a half on this one.
Oh, we're not done yet. We still got 10 minutes for an hour and a half.
I know. We got to ask some trivia.
Yeah, we got.
Oh shoot! Yeah, that's right.
And we got to do our wrap up.
Come on, it's your favorite.
And we got to hear about the pricing.
Yeah, but I can't play because I'm on the show.
Yeah, I know. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. It's only my favorite.
It's just hitting Tony now. It's just hitting him now. Poor guy. So all right, let's do final grades here. Final thoughts. John, how would you grade this issue?
I mean, low. I mean, I'm gonna be nice just because I like the character of David. I'll give this a 4.5.
Deal.
I just not happy with it. It could have been so much more. And now, having watched the Legion show, they showed you what it could have been, and it could have been amazing. So just disappointing, disjointed for a comic that's supposed to take place inside of the mind of a powerful psychic who is battling another powerful psychic. It's incredibly bland and incredibly repetitive and not very emotional. If you read Grant Morrison's New X-Men, there's an issue taking place inside of a character's mind and two incredible psychics going inside that mind. And it's an entirely silent issue. And it is a psychedelic roller coaster ride full of emotion. So it is possible. You can do it. This just doesn't it. So 4.5.
All right. Tony, what about you? How would you grade this comic?
Same. I wasn't impressed. It was too much for me to. I didn't look. I picked up 28 before I even did anything with 27, and it was overload. It was overwhelming. There was characters I didn't understand. They never gave anything to help somebody who just picked it off a shelf and to read it. The art, if you never saw Bill Sienkiewicz, overwhelming. Words are overwhelming. Everything. I mean, if I just picked this off the, I mean, in '85 would have been a drugstore shelf or something. I would have picked it off. This was way too much. But there was nothing from to lead you from the last issue into this. A lot of it was overwhelmed. I'm going to say overwhelming again because that's how I felt. I felt it just overwhelmed. You know, going up this mountain, whatever, and then once they hit that dome, it was a better read for me. Though I didn't really understand what was going on, it was a better read for me. Yeah. Does it make sense? I don't know. I'll give you 4. I'll give you that much. I'll give you the 4. What John was saying about writing now, writing then, I don't think if you wrote, that story, whatever story you're talking about now, then would have worked. I think this was the 80s, and this is what comic books were in the 80s. I think the comic books now in 2020 whatever are more towards the adult, more soap opera, more it's not a comic book like it was 40 years ago. So I don't think what you're saying now would match up with then. But I just think at 40 years ago, this was a big book to pick up off the shelf.
Yeah, it's interesting too because, and I agree with you guys. This is for me. It was very tough to just follow along, and I read it through 3 times through, probably more than that, with all the little times I went back to certain pages and tried to reconnect things and just trying to make sense of it all. I think that even with time and getting more of an understanding of David as a whole, I'm hoping to appreciate the character. But as kind of an intro to him, I'm not that impressed with him. And as you guys pointed out, like, we didn't even get much time with him. We were in his brain the whole time, but we didn't actually get to know who David was. So maybe that's
he was a good-looking kid. He was a good-looking kid, and puberty hit him, and he ended up being a freaking like a Gumby-looking guy. Yeah. I just I don't understand why they drew him looking like he ended up. Yeah, look at that guy. That's not even natural.
He didn't look like this in the current stuff, John, right? In the Hickman stuff, I don't think he looked like that at all, from what I remember. I didn't really read as much of the Legion stories, but this definitely, turning these pages kind of threw me for a loop as well. But
the only thing that seems consistent between this and now is just his electrified hair.
His hair.
He's always kind of had that spiky blue hair.
Yeah. I'm with you guys in the grades. I'll be right there with you at a 4 or 5. It's probably the lowest that we've hit so far this season. So all things considered, not bad that this is the first time we're hitting that. But Jackson Roy Kirk says he gave it a 4. He says, I got this floppy off the rack because of FOMO, but I was seriously losing interest in the New Mutants and as a byproduct, the X-Men title. Interesting. Bobby says it's a 9-4 with white crystal cluster pages. I love it. Ryan says, DC fans, we are Legion of Superheroes. Let's see, scrolling through. Did I miss anybody here? JP says any X-Men book mostly centered on either Chuck, Scott, or other families top out like at least the 2. Yeah. kind of seeing that a little bit here. Candace says, she's talking about collecting the conversation she has up top there. Let's see, scrolling through. All right, well, let's get into the numbers real quick, and then we'll get into the questions here. Not much significance other than what I put here for just the conclusion of Legion. Technically, the appearances and everything else were in the issues prior to this. The 9/8s are going for a fair market value of $70 from Go Collect. There's 42 on the consensus. I don't think this is a comic that I'd want to get graded in any sense, especially not for $70. So I'll just get my dollar bin copy of it raw instead. Any thoughts here on the numbers?
No, I mean, you're spot on. Like, I'm not surprised that there are so few of them. I am surprised that they're fetching that high of a premium, even in a 9/8, because I just don't know why anyone would want this book in a CGC. Any case.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get out of this.
We lost
then.
Tony.
Did we lose Tony?
Tony ran to the restroom. Quick break.
That's all right. John, real quick, what were your general thoughts on like these 3 issues, like from favorite to least favorite, from what you can recall, just from these last, this we'll call it a trilogy, but did you? I know you. I mean, we had positive things to say about the 2 previous ones.
I just think it's a slow decrease in joy each issue as we get a chance to. I mean, you think an artist like Bill Sienkiewicz would be the perfect person to capture the psychedelic mindscape of these characters, right? And yet, each time we get deeper into the mind of David and the opportunities exist to showcase. Yeah. I mean, think of what he did with the Demon Bear landscapes. Like, why aren't we getting that kind of stuff here? I think it's kind of strange, the choices artistically that were being made. And that's why I think it just each volume falls flatter and flatter. The first volume where we're coming to Muir Island and we're seeing the world as it should be, not through the filtered lens of David, is superior. That's 26. And then 27 and 28, I think each have decreasing return.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed 26 for what it was and just the kickoff to this stuff. But yeah, kind of went downhill from there. I think everybody here kind of agrees, Matt, Roy Kirk as well. Adam says, is Tony reloading? This was definitely a take a drink episode. Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get into the questions here. If you guys are not familiar, we're going to ask 4 questions. These questions are based on last episode, last issue, or last 2 issues. Technically, we talked about 26 and 27. So we have 4 questions. We're looking for 2 correct answers. So if you're not sure, but you think someone else put the correct answer down, feel free to copy and paste them because we're looking for the correct answer twice, one from 2 different people. The other thing is we are looking for an incorrect answer on purpose. So if you're not sure of what the answer is, that's okay. You can still get a point if you can make Tony laugh the hardest out of all the other fake answers. Tony, if he picks your answer,
you better be good and dirty to make me good. Okay, so I just want to tell you that's how I am. Sorry.
He likes dirt. He likes mud.
They know. Yeah, they know. Everybody knows. No secrets.
So, John, I'll pass it to you first. Your first question, and Kirk's already dropping the line.
Here's a layup for making Tony laugh, gang. When we first meet David Haller, what is he doing? We meet him for the first time, issue 26. How do we find David? What do we find him doing?
Was he by himself?
Okay. Hey, give him a shot, buddy. Give them a chance.
Yeah, don't give him a layup there, Tony. All right, looking for 2 correct answers and 1.
And a reminder for folks at home, in 2 weeks, we're on my channel for Bearded Comic Bro, and we'll be doing 2 issues, 29 and 30. So just be ready for that.
Yeah. We're getting to the end here too. JP's
already got a hit with Tony.
Right JP knows me so well.
Playing solitaire, Adam says.
That's 2G rated for Tony. You're not going to get laughed playing solitaire.
Look, this is how much we have left here.
It's nearing the end, and a bunch of that is like artist render stuff. There's a chunk at the end there that's non-story
stuff.
Yeah.
Bobby, put another himself into it, so because there's 3 of them, right?
He did. There's 3 himselves there.
Oh, there is. Okay, cool. Himself. That's funny.
I like that we have only wrong answers so far. We have no right answers.
Everyone's like, this was 2 weeks ago. I gotta Google this stuff.
Sorry,
going with the playing theme, playing his Diana Ross record. I like it. Yeah.
I'm gonna let Tony pick 2 comedy answers here. If we don't got any correct answers, that's how I'm gonna play this.
Really?
Right,
I'll go with JP and Bobby.
JP and Bobby are gonna get it unless somebody's got a correct answer of what was David Haller doing when we met him.
Wow.
All right, so JP and Bobby, I think it's you guys.
There it is.
JP, he was floating above his bed having a nightmare. He was like Exorcist style. He was like freaking out above his bed. Oh, magic lasso. Too slow. You spent too much time talking about Diana Ross, not enough time.
Kidding, you should
that's right.
Don't worry, you're still in the overall lead, buddy.
All right. Second question. Who did Warlock say goodbye to after they landed in Mur Isle? There was a scene. We talked about it. We definitely highlighted it, had some giggles about it.
Yep.
When they get to Mur Isle, who did Warlock say goodbye to? Think back. Warlock was acting what we perceived as strange, but maybe it wasn't so odd. Maybe it was.
I dropped the starting line that time.
Yeah, you beat him. All right, I see 2 correct answers. Magic Lasso, yes, the Blackbird, yep, and Adam makes it up.
Did he get it on with the plane?
I mean, JP said a bird, but it's not correct, right?
No, it's the Blackbird, yeah.
And he was when he was speaking, a little black bird appeared in the word bubble because he was talking about the black bird. He was talking about the jet.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was using like hieroglyphic language almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ryan and Adam. Those are the first 2 that came up. Sorry, Matt. Just
this time we got all correct answers and no incorrect answers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's kind of tricky to add some comedy, but hey, we'll give you another second or 2 here. Who did Warlock say goodbye to?
Bobby's got one.
Bobby, you can do better than that. Give me something. Here's Winky.
Hey, he knows what Tony likes.
Wow, they all came in strong there at the end. We got like 5 in a row there.
Say goodbye to his virginity. Yeah.
All right, I'll give it to JP for his Winky. Wait, come on, you guys. Come on, you're gonna give me more. You're gonna give me more. This is not like PG here. Come on,
that's a good one. That's a good one. It's empty bottle of Crown Royal. Yep, JP. There you go.
He said goodbye to the empty bottle.
Yep. He's saying goodbye to his sanity because he was talking to a plane. Yeah, I mean that's fair. All right, which one, Tony?
He said JP
because there's Winky, and he did the bird. He did the bird that was in the.
Right, there you go.
Thing, and I'll give it to them. But you guys need to give me more. Come on, get on the shtick. Come on, let's go.
All right, John. What's your next one?
Yeah, last question here from me. Why is Rain upset when they first arrive at Muir Island? Wolfsbane, the character of Rain, she gets very emotional when they arrive at Muir Island, and there's some tears, there's some anger, there's some teenage angst, if you will. Why? What is upsetting Wolfsbane?
Roy Kirk with the extra ...
Yeah, he went a little further than mine. He went a little further.
Yeah.
Did he write the same thing twice? Once with the capital letter, once without the capital letter.
He did.
Right. Oh, John.
I'm going to give it to JP because it's funny. And it kind of still works. She felt forgotten. Why, Maura?
Did he call it? Doesn't she call her ma in this one?
She does. Yeah,
she does.
She treats her or acts like she's a surrogate mom for her.
JP, you're lucky you're not Chet. Or that wouldn't fly, my friend.
I like Adam.
Adam says because the locals immediately light torches and threaten her. Yeah, I mean that's
it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough. They were ready. It was like not a day had passed.
It was a full moon.
Yeah.
Adam says again.
I like that Jackson McCork threw the Y in, just the Y.
Yeah.
Why? All right, Tony, do you have a comedy answer you liked?
Yeah, I'll get to Adam.
All right. Adam's on the board.
He is again, yeah.
All right. My last question and the last question of the evening. How did Lee Forrester save Magneto in issue 26?
Go.
How did she save Magneto in issue 26? It's a layup.
Come on, give me something good.
And by that he means dirty.
Yeah, baby. I would say me.
Oh, Jesus, Lasso.
I'm going to give it to Ryan right there with her vagina. There you go.
Oh, my Lord.
Ryan knows me so well.
Shagging his brains. So far, we got only comedy answers.
Yeah, this
No
has been very
correct
back and forth.
It's been, it's been one
all
of those
correct
nights.
or
I'm
all.
sorry. Ryan said vagina.
Always extra points for that.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Don't think it. Say it.
Oh, geez, Bobby. Yikes. Tony's like, I gotta look up rusty trombone. I don't know what that
No, I know exactly what a rusty trombone is.
Tony's like, what does musical instruments have to do with it?
We may have gotten our first correct answer.
Yep. I'm gonna go with Ryan. Woke him up from a bad dream, and Matt. There you go.
Can we give an extra one to Bobby for saying rusty trombone because nobody else would ever say that?
Sure. Done.
All right, so Bobby's on the board. All right. Well, there you have it, friends. Tony, Old Wolf, you made it. Look at that. Only an hour and a half to go.
Well, I'm very disappointed. I wanted to go 3 hours.
I think you have that feeling a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, as long as I get off, I'm happy.
Zing. If you guys are not following Tony Old Wolf, you certainly should. He's a great guy, and I don't care what you saw tonight. He's a great guy. His link is in the description below. Make sure you sub his channel. I know, Tony, you still do your Thursday
train
wrecks. So
why'd you even? I wanted to see him struggle. Why'd you even say that? Yes, it's a wreck. This is going to be a double wide train wreck because my LCS didn't get the books last week, so this is like 2 weeks. This is going to be like
brutal. Got to go digital, man. Gotta go digital. All right, and then of course I remind you, make sure you're subbed up to John if you're not already. We'll be back on John's channel in 2 weeks.
Thanks,
so not next week, but the week after. Mark your calendars.
Why are we doing next week?
Because we got things to do. We got people to see, places to go.
Life.
Yeah, because life, Tony. Because life.
Yeah. No, because there's a lot of live streams coming up across the YouTubes with these days.
This is true. This is true.
Got a lot of things going on. A lot of irons in the fire, Tony.
Oh yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotta stay busy.
And John, you have a great T-shirt. Tell us about that T-shirt. You can buy them.
I hit 3,000 subscribers today, folks.
Did you?
I hit 3.
Oh, you did.
Today.
Congratulations.
And not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, I'm hoping be Friday the 9th. I'm going to be doing my big giveaway 3K celebration.
Whoa.
Club John will be open with the bouncer out front. Remember the Club No Good days.
Yeah. There's still people online.
How can we win stuff on your 3K celebration?
Yeah. There's 3 different ways because it's 3K and there's 3 prizes for each way. There's 9 giveaway items, Tony.
Oh my Lord.
It's a madhouse over there on my channel. So firstly, you can hang out in the live stream chat and win all kinds of goodies. Be there live not this coming Friday, the Friday after. Win some awesome stuff just by hanging out. I'll spin the wheel. I'll drop some, hashtags or whatever, and you guys can win some stuff. The second way you can win is being a channel member. If you join up in the channel member, I'm going to spin a wheel just for those homies. They're going to be having a chance. This guy right here, he's got a chance to win 3 different prizes as a member. The last way is by leaving comments on my videos. So I'm going to add all those names together. Any of the edited videos that I make or the live streams, all of those. Not the shorts. I'm not counting shorts. Anything but the shorts. As long as you left a comment.
If we go to see all your videos.
I dropped a video yesterday. You just need to leave one comment. I'm only one time, just one comment, and you're in. So I'm not doing like every single comment.
So everybody needs to go see your channel. Go on your edited videos and leave a comment.
One comment, yes.
It says Tony. Anyone other than Tony can win, is what JP said.
Oh,
And
I
that's
forgot
usually
that.
how it
That
is.
was in the small print. Yeah.
Sorry, Tony. Sorry, Tony.
I think
Just
I've even
change your
got
name.
a couple of the slabs right here.
Yeah, Tony, you just got to go to a bigger glass. That's all. Bigger
How
glass.
about
I can go get one.
first cameo of Mystique?
That's a goodie.
How about one
Whoa.
of Candace's favorite
I want
books?
that. You know why?
Yes.
I already have 2 copies. I want
That's a
one
great
more.
one.
I'm giving away one whole like little pile of Mystique and Rogue early appearances, first appearances, and keys. I've even got 2 raw copies of Mystique's first full appearance on their way. I'll throw one of those in here as well. So you're gonna that's for the chat. That's just for the live chat. So
Amazing.
goodies galore. Next Friday the 9th.
Mark your calendars.
3K giveaway all day.
Awesome. Congrats, John. That is cool. 3K, baby. Yep. Another club opened up down the street.
Club
Johnny
No
Boy.
Good has a better bouncer than me. Everybody gets into Club John.
All right, gang. Well, we appreciate everybody hanging as always. Make sure you smash that like
minutes.
button
Gotta
on
keep
your
it
way
going
out.
5 more minutes. Gotta keep it
Nope.
going 5 more minutes.
That's it.
Come on,
That's it.
5 more minutes. It's almost
John,
freaking-
you're getting all the love in the chat. All right, gang.
No,
We are
15,
out. Everybody have a
15.
great week. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.